I live alone in rural Arkansas, surrounded by miles and miles of woods. Reception out here is shady at best, and contact with society is limited. Yes, even in a country where there are millions of people, my nearest neighbor is 7 miles away, and I only leave the house when I need groceries or if I go to work. Now, obviously, living in a remote part of the state with a lot of wooded area, animals, noises, and encounters are very common. I'm an avid hunter with a feeder in my backyard to attract deer, and I'm used to hearing coyotes, bobcats, mountain lions, and etc. What I'm not used to are the lights that have been appearing at night out in the woods behind my house. I enjoy sometimes just looking outside for hours on end, enjoying the nature and moon and the stars. And then it was about 2 weeks ago I started seeing strange lights out in the woods. Let me clarify and make mention that I am far from civilization. No one comes out here unless they are specifically looking for me, and that's usually family and sometimes the UPS guy. But before you ask, yes, I've considered it might be kids or hunters out spotlighting, but these lights are not flashlights. They are small red lights that never move. There's always a different amount. The first time I saw them were 5, then 8, then 2, then 12, seemingly random every night. I wasn't creeped out or worried, assuming it was reflections or something. Writing it off as nothing more than the normal paranoia that comes from living alone. I was pleased with this until 2 nights ago. I returned late from work after a long day and unusual busy traffic. Being summertime, it wasn't quite dark yet, despite it being nearly 8 at night. I work long shifts for a delivery service that can be 12 hours mornings to evening. When I got out of my vehicle, I noticed the familiar sight of the lights and began walking towards the house when I heard a branch snap in the distance. Nothing crazy, could be an animal, but I still paused and looked in the direction of the sound. I saw the lights, but not that usual amount of up to 10. There were many of them, maybe 50 or more. I didn't take the time to count, but the lights weren't what made my blood run cold. It was the figure that stood amongst the trees, just in front of the lights. The low light of the evening made it difficult to see, but I know there was something there, and it looked human. Confused and slightly on edge, I gently rested my hand on my concealed handgun. I'm not afraid to defend myself, but that doesn't mean I want to have to do so. I spoke in a more shaky than I would have liked voice and asked, "Who's there?" The figure didn't budge, nor did it respond. I called out again, this time more confident, asking if they were lost or needed help. It's happened before. Police often come to my property when someone gets lost in the woods asking me if I've seen anything. Still, the figure had no response. Instead, it slowly sunk back into the woods. Now most of the sunlight had diminished, leaving a twilight sort of visual, making it impossible to see where the figure went. But I noticed the lights were now brighter, as if they moved closer. Some of them began blinking like animal eyes in the dark as they continued to glow brighter. I briskly made my way inside and ensured every entrance and window into my home was locked. I hardly slept, and the day before I called into work, I was fearful to go outside in case whatever or whoever was out there might be waiting for me. I didn't even look outside all day. I closed all the curtains and kept to my room most of the day. When night came, almost on cue, I saw the lights outside, barely visible behind my curtains. I glanced outside and regretted it immediately, seeing the figure again at the edge of the woods. Only this time, its head was illuminated by one of the red lights. I don't mean I could see its face, but its face was literally one of the lights. It just stood there as if it was watching me. I could tell if it was looking directly at me, despite the curtain being shut. I called the police, but when they arrived, the lights were gone, and after a quick sweep of the edge of the woods, they decided it was all clear and left, telling me my paranoia from being alone out here was getting to me, but I know what I saw. I don't know what's going on, but I wanted to ask anyone if they could help or had any suggestions what I should do. I decided today to go to work to get away from home, but now I dread when I get home tonight. Please, any of you could think of anything, please tell me. And this user decided to keep everybody up to date if anything else happens. And only on record do we have this story that was just shared by this individual. This took place back in 2018 in Arkansas. I hope you guys enjoyed this mini story. We have more on the way. Thank you, and keep it squatchy, my friends.